It's very nice to speak after Kira because there's not much I should add. Because we do virtually the same things as ECHO. There are over 50 hotlines like us out there, and we are there in order to react. If education failed, if children embarked on risky behavior, and if something went wrong, then hotline steps in. In our work, we mainly deal with pornography. Internet users communicated to us. If you look at the material, if you look into the report you've got in your bags, you can see that we deal predominantly with pornography of adults or minors. And there are some warnings appearing for pornography. However, there's a much broader catalogue of harmful content than pornography. I'm going to focus on pornography in my speech, but the same mechanisms are valid for other types of harmful content. So there are such warnings out there, and let's look at how web servers approach them. If you are, are you sure you're 18? Well, somebody pressed yes or no, and that goes to show what web servers doing. The warnings against pornographic content is of no use, is widely made fun of. People just go on without stopping. And the children are not stopped on the pursuit of harmful content by them. Why, in the first place, do kids enter websites for adults? There are two groups, the ones who do it purposefully and the ones who don't do it purposefully. Well, there are more factors than the ones I mentioned, but the main categories are unintentional, where a kid browses some information and is directed to a pornography page. Also, on neutral pages, there is some adult content sometimes. I'd like to draw your attention to the need to keep track of your school domain, because sometimes a website is taken over by a third company. If it's not paid, it goes to a general pool of domain and then might be purchased. And as a result, kids or their parents enter a school website and end up on a porn site. We had some cases like that, and it's very hard to claim such a domain back. Also, some other users might address inappropriate content. For instance, if a kid has a profile in any social media, sometimes it's a dating portal or an ordinary community web portal, some other users might address certain sexualizing content at them. And in the intentional cases, children might look for adult content all by themselves, or they find some adult content when they want to listen to music. Let me skip the example of the singer we already mentioned earlier today. They look for music, and what they get is a clip for adults. And then they might come across content which is not for them. For instance, if a child wants to find some information about sex education, contraceptives, and so on, sometimes what they get is harmful content. And sometimes they produce such content all by themselves. We already mentioned sexting quite extensively. But the question is what might be done with it if other users address inappropriate content at minors, or when kids themselves produce harmful content. One thing is education. That's why we are here in the first place. I think it's very good that we are here. But On top of that, we need to react. Let me show you a clip. Not about internet. A clip about a kid in Norway on a snowy day at a bus stop. What about the behavior of other people at the same bus stop?
Har du ikke jakke?
Nei, noen har stjålet den.
Nei.
Tutaj nedi der.
His neighbor asks him what happened, why isn't he properly dressed, who's he waiting for, and he replies that he forgot his jacket and he's waiting for his mom to come and bring him his jacket. Are you cold? Let me stop it. You can find it in the internet. You can find a Polish experiment based on the same principles too. But what's really important is the reaction from fellow passengers and from web surfer. If a kid embarks on a risky behavior, we web surfers should react to it too. And I'm not saying we as parents or we, the educators, teaching children about the websites they should and shouldn't enter. I think we should take action if we can see a child in danger. Sometimes the action we are taking might be of various nature. Sometimes it's demanding that web sites be marked well, like adult websites, so that the parental control filters identify harmful content. Also, we can admonish users in such situations. I do not have a ready recipe for that, but if there is a kid on a dating site, setting up a profile on a dating site because it's cool, because they are curious, or whatever, other users should ask, why are you here? What are you doing here? Just like in this clip with this boy without a jacket. Why are you without a jacket? Where are your parents? Also, we can notify specialized teams, like hotlines or a helpline. My message to you as members of the civic society and web surfers is that you should react when you see a child in danger.